Want some, get some. Can I get a hell yeah? Yes, I am a pirate. You have to go with the pirates because, of course, they have cannons and everything. It's a pirate's life for me. Be proud of who you are and what you are. You're pirate. It is a first down. Pirates. Because when you're at East Carolina, you go for it every time. When you don't coach at East Carolina, you don't come to East Carolina, you don't play at East Carolina with a weak heart. Write it. I think I've ever been in a building as loud as that was. It was deafening in there. You live with Omaha? I can promise you that. And it's purple all night long in Eastern North Carolina.
You're watching The Sports Objective, the podcast for Pirates.
My heart is purple and gold. I'm a pirate down of my soul, and I don't back down, not at all. Find out when the cannons explode.
All right, welcome in to a very special edition of Pirate Football Playback Part Deux. So, Part Deux, because we have our dear friend Matt Semenza back, man. I tell you what, I was hoping for a better game for you, by the way. Matt Semenza Parents Weekend, and it didn't turn out the way, but I know you're glad to see your great daughter Avery, so I know it turned out great in the long run.
Absolutely, Dave. Thank you for mentioning. Yeah, tough day. I was down at the South Carolina versus Vandy game for Parents Weekend, and look, when your entire offense is built around Lenore Sellers and he goes down in the first quarter with a concussion off of what appeared to be a targeting hit, you're going to be in trouble. And not to get off too much on South Carolina, but without Lenore Sellers, that is not a great team. So it's going to be interesting to see what unfolds down there, fellas. JR, how you doing?
Hey, Matt, we missed you last night. Doing well. Still on a high from the Saturday night thrashing.
No doubt, Matt. I thought for sure, by the way, with your Learjet, I thought for sure that you could do the game from your jet, man.
Yeah, well, the Learjet's in the garage right now, so we're going to break that out in a few weeks, maybe for Army. So
Okay.
you know how that is.
Yeah, I thought maybe the noise of the airplane. I don't know. Maybe you decided to wait till tonight. But if people are wondering why are you doing a show Monday night, Justin was saying he wasn't expecting us to be on. We felt bad that Matt was in the air in the friendly skies, and so he wanted to do a show. So Matt, here we are. I want to get your take on Coastal and get your perspective on being a former player. And I mean, man, 38-0, another shutout, dude. In 9 straight quarters, we haven't given up a touchdown. We were worried about this defense, and so far, so good.
Yeah, absolutely. And, look, I'll just kind of start with, the good from that game. And you mentioned it, Dave. Anytime you can go on the road and win 38-0, I mean, that's a great night. And, just kind of look at some of the positives here, right? I mean, and JR, you're the stats guy, but this was the first time Coastal was shut out at home since 2008, I believe. So that's a huge accomplishment right there. I mean, the defense was flying around. You got to love what you saw, and I think the thing that I liked about this game the most is that there was no trying to figure out at the end of the game who the better team was. They were clearly and soundly beat in the fourth quarter. They were physically worn out. And, you saw that when our ground game finally got going and we really started to push them around. And there was really no, at that point, the game was clearly over. And it was nice to see us just kind of out physical a team like that, especially on the road. What do you guys think about that? And Kyle, welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. It was good to see us be that physical, particularly on both sides of the ball. The running game obviously didn't really take hold until late in the game, where their defense was worn out. I actually don't think Coastal has a bad defense at all. They're just on the field way too much because their offense is horrible. but our defense did what you should do to a bad offense, shut them down, and we were by far the more physical football team. It looked, and I don't really know what's happened with Coastal. They've done okay in the portal. I looked at what they did in the portal this offseason. They lost some guys. They did okay picking people up. I think they were kind of picking the middle of the Sun Belt. They weren't supposed to be this bad, but it looked almost like a FBS versus FCS, or like a good SEC team against a bad Sun Belt team. I mean, it looked, we looked physically dominant against them, way more so than we should ever really see from two quote unquote group of five teams playing each other. I don't know what's going on with them, particularly with the offense. With defense just got worn out, but we're we're a good team. But that also had a lot to do with them being really bad on offense.
Guys, I had a question. Matt, I'll start with you with I forgot, and I'm glad we're doing this show, actually. One of the things I was going to talk about, and you said physical, so it made me think of it. Have you guys noticed, maybe it's me, but it looks like this team is in way better condition than the Houston years, and not to pick on Mike Houston by any stretch of the imagination, but it looks like we're definitely better conditioned and that we're hanging in there. That's why we're able, like the state game, how we were able to get back in it, because we were not worn out.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you look at the 3 games this year, we were clearly the stronger team in the fourth quarter of all those games. You look at NC State in particular. I thought we were really, had that game gone on for another quarter, we were clearly trending in the right direction. And, obviously Coastal was soundly beaten last night by the fourth quarter. So I do think that's a good sign. And I think like what you're seeing more and more of, you're seeing like the pro influence in college football, where you have more and more. I'll use Belichick as an example, right? At UNC, he trains them as if they are a professional team. College football teams, they have to be trained like college teams. They have to condition like college teams. And I think that the coaches who are on top of that and do the best job are going to give their teams an advantage. So definitely something that's a good sign for us.
Yeah, I think you bring up the play late in the game, us looking like the better conditioned team. I think that it's probably to do with a couple things. I think, one, we do appear to be pretty well conditioned, and that's surprising consider all the turnover we had as strength conditioning coach. Two, I think the tempo we play with has a lot to do with wearing teams out by the fourth. And then 3, we play a lot of players. We play a ton of players, and that keeps the team fresh. So I think those 3, I think we are better conditioned, and then the tempo, and then the amount of players we play on both sides of the ball, I think really help stay fresh as we get into the fourth quarter.
I agree. Just quickly, I mean, we've outscored our opponents 38-0 in the fourth quarter. And last night, Kyle's example is spot on, because the amount of defensive players we used was, I think, at a season high as far as quality snaps for bench players. We had more last night. Tamir Brown is the only starter that played virtually every snap. He had 60 snaps. The 2 safeties, 48 each. But other than that, it was a really good mix of bench and starters. So yeah, we spread it out pretty, on the bench. We had great participation. Good point, Kyle.
Hey, Matt, the very fact that to his point about all the players starting, and we talked about Campbell last week, and we expected a whole bunch of players because we did what we were supposed to do. We won 56-3. We should be the FCS opponent handily. I didn't know it was going to be like that, obviously. And then surprisingly, I don't know how many people expected a blowout like that. I think Kenny, there might be a few of our listeners and viewers that did, but most of us thought it would be ECU with the win, but it would be way closer. And they go out there, score 38 points, and it could have easily been 60-0, including the very end. By the way, you guys know that how I am, but I know that we this year that really helps us to score a lot of points. But Blake Harrell, class act. He could have scored another touchdown right there. Instead, they're running clock, and they pretty much took a knee instead of scoring putting up another touchdown there in garbage time. So very happy with him. And guys, I did want to tell, by the way, Matt, I told Kyle this yesterday and totally forgot about the story, but I want to tell this really fast before we dive into Coastal and talk briefly about BYU and get out of here. Some of you know Coach Harold Robinson. H-Rob is a guy that was there in the John Thompson era. He was there in the also Skip Holtz era and Ruff era. He was there about a decade. Anyway, he had obviously has been under the weather and had some health issues, and it was not looking good. I didn't talk about it on the air because obviously they're a private family. However, he's doing much better, which I'm happy to report. He's got a ways to go. He's got a long journey, but he's in rehab now in Washington, the original Washington, North Carolina. He's in rehab now, and Blake Harrell a week ago, and I'm sorry I just found out on Friday. I would have told you guys sooner, but nobody else knows this but this show. Blake Harrell signed a helmet, got Steve Shankweiler to drive it over there, and they have that in Coach Robinson's room, and he was tickled to death. He was thrilled and just praying really hard for him. But the reason I bring all that up is not only I'm really happy for Coach Robinson, he's fighting a good fight, but also that's the kind of class act that Coach Harrell is, and Coach Shankweiler for delivering that to Coach Robinson.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Prayers, certainly sending, prayers for Coach Robinson, and hopefully everything, takes a positive turn of events there. And certainly, it seems like, ECU is always classy at the end of these games, even going back to the Mike Houston era when we had big leads. We never run up the score at the end, which is really unusual for college football. I mean, you see this all over the country where everybody's looking, to throw on those extra points at the end of the game. And we've always been pretty classy like that. And so for better or worse, I guess there's two different schools on that one. But no doubt we could have scored, easily. We could have scored 55, 60 points in that game. And you talk about at the very end, but I think there were 3 deep shots that I think Caton Hauser would love to have back, guys, when you go back and watch that film. And that's certainly, I'm not knocking Caton. He has been fantastic this year. I mean, fantastic. And I thought he played really well the other night too, outside of maybe, 1 or 2 throws. But, when you look at the deep balls, those would have really tacked on a lot of points. And those are the types of, and we're going to get into BYU, but those are the types of plays you're going to have to make next Saturday night to beat a BYU team. When you have guys open down the field, you have to be able to, convert those throws. So just something to look out for. We'll get into that.
I'm a little surprised the last 2 weeks, despite putting up, a number of points and looking good, and there's nothing wrong with sustained drops, but we have not hit very many explosive plays really outside of the NC State game. Most of our plays have been, most of our scoring drives have been sustained drops. We haven't hit, the big shot over the top the last couple of weeks, or broken off a 40-yard touchdown run. And that's good and bad. It's definitely good that you can drive the ball and put together a sustained drive. But I'd like to see us start hitting a few more big plays. And I think to beat BYU, I won't say we're going to have to be able to hit big plays, but I think it's going to be hard to drive the ball on them for long, sustained drives. But who knows? But I that's something I have observed, something I haven't been talked about was the lack of explosion plays since the NC State game.
Hey, Matt, and I guess I was saving some of my material for you. But here's the thing, guys. You always hear the old adage, the run sets up the pass. But when Lincoln Riley was here, the pass set up the run. Is that and to help our run game is what I'm trying to say. Do we need to just go ahead and do we obviously want to be committed to the run. I'm not saying obviously be one-dimensional and just bail out on the run. But shouldn't we do more passing and then do the run to try to open up those lanes? Or what do you guys think? There's
Yeah.
something I thought about on Saturday night.
Yeah, I talked about it yesterday on the show. I would take deep shots against BYU early and often, even if they didn't connect, to open up run lanes.
Yeah, and I have a lot of notes on this, and it's one of the things I really wanted to talk about tonight. But before I do, JR, I think you were trying to jump in there. I'll let you take that one first.
Oh, no, not at all. Go ahead.
Yeah, so one of the things that we talked about, like so many of the good things that we did against Coastal. One of the questions I really had that I couldn't really understand was like why we were so intent on running the football, especially when we got down in the red zone. It seemed like we were just determined, come hell or high water, to run the football. And I went back and I watched that game actually twice now, and look, it really looked to me like our wide receivers, which when you look at the strength of our offense, it's the quarterback to the wide receiver connection that we have. We have very talented wide receivers and depth too. And I really felt like we could have got whatever we wanted in the passing game. And we were. And then it just seemed like for some reason we were just really determined for whatever reason to run the football. And I didn't get it, man, because look, when you're down, you're inside the 20. You mean to tell me Yannick couldn't have got whatever he wanted in the red zone?
Absolutely.
And he did have 2 touchdowns, but look, there are times when you need to run the football, but take what they give you. If a team cannot stop you through the air, just there's no rule that says you have to run it. Like there's no rule. And I think what you saw as a result was this was when you look back, especially at that first half, how dominating of a performance we had. And then you look up halfway through the third quarter, it's a 10-0 game. Right. And you're like, whoa, like we just dominated for 60% of this game, and we don't have much to show for it. And I really think it's because we were too determined to run the football. Just take what they give you, man. If a team cannot stop you from throwing a ball, then throw it. I don't care if you throw it every down. So that's, and then I'll circle back. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Did you see what I saw?
Well, Matt, I would just like to throw this in there. From passes that were under 10 yards, he was 23 of 23 with 2 touchdowns. So how about that?
That's fantastic. Those are incredible numbers. Yep.
Hey, Matt,
I wanted to jump on what Matt was saying. I think Matt's answer why he did that was because he knew Coastal's offense was horrible, and he Blake and I think John David Baker too want to establish the run and want to be able to run the ball, and that's something we're struggling with. And the more opportunity we have to do that, particularly when they know it's coming, the better we're going to get at running the ball. Now, it's not going to make us all of a sudden be able to run for 300 yards on BYU, but I think it was more about getting better in the running game is really the approach. Now, with that said, I'd rather go up 20-0 than start working on that run game.
Right.
I think that was probably the mistake we made. We should have been more aggressive in the passing game and got that game put away sooner. But I'll tell you this: when we went up 17-0, it felt like 30-0. That's how bad Coastal's offense was and how well our defense was playing. So I think Coach, and I'm giving Coach Harrell the benefit of the doubt here. I think he really thought we were going to completely. I don't know that he thought we were going to shut them out, but I thought he felt good about us completely shutting down their offense, and so that's why he was so committed to the run to get it going, because we're going to need to be able to run the ball later in the season. And he got it going, to his credit. But I would say to Coach Harrell and John David Baker in the future, let's put that game away first, because it at halftime, and even until we went up by 17, it felt like, God, you're just going to let them hang around, and then the fourth quarter it's going to end up being a 1-score game. But thankfully that wasn't the case, and the run wore them out. But I think that's why, Matt. I'm pretty sure if without having access to Blake's brain operation, or operation of his brain rather, that he felt confident in the defense, and he was determined to get that running game going. But I'm with you, Matt. Let's put it away first. Would have been a lot better to be up 24 or 20 to nothing at halftime versus 10 to nothing, then work on the run game.
Matt, do you remember? I'm going to make a point here. Do you remember Super Bowl 49 when you have the Seahawks and the Patriots, and you have Pete Carroll? I mean, he was committed to the run, committed to the run, committed to the run. Dude, you got it that close to the goal line, and you wait till I think it was 4th down before you pass the ball. Like, I know that that's apples and oranges because it's NFL and college, but still, I agree with you 1,000%. When you've got a guy like Yannick Smith, who's having the best game he's had all season. I know it's the 3rd game, but he was the hot hand. He was catching everything. Give the guy the good news is, guys, another thing I wanted to mention because of our depth, especially wide receiver. Johnny, I don't know how many people caught a pass this week, but we've got so many weapons that how do you defend that? Like, okay, you're going to shut out the Smith and Smith. Well, we've got other guys that can catch, including I tell you another thing too, Matt, I was talking about last night. We've got to get Mike Wright on the field, and I don't know if it's Wildcat, whatever you want to do, but that guy is a playmaker. That guy is a difference maker. That guy is the kind of guy that could make us go from having a mediocre season to a good or great season, in my opinion. But he's that good, and we were talking about last night, Matt. Maybe we're saving stuff for BYU. But that guy is just too good. When you see that run he had for that touchdown, there's no way that you can have him limited on the field unless he was injured or we were trying to save him a little bit from that. But otherwise, get him on the field.
Yeah, I mean, he looked great. I mean, we ran some pretty basic plays with him in the 4th quarter. It was essentially we just put an H-back as almost like a lead blocker for him. And they had no answer for it. But the thing you see with Mike Wright is like, is it me or is he's just an effortless runner? Like, it doesn't look like he's moving overly fast or he's, trying so hard to run fast. It just looks very natural. And like,
it takes long strides.
Yes, that's a good point. He's got a long stride. And before you know it, he's just running by people. And absolute talent. It's tough. It's tough when it's your backup quarterback and you're trying to find ways to get him involved. But absolutely, he's somebody, you try to use your weapons as best you can.
Yeah. Hey, Dave, I was going to answer your question. We had 10 different players catch a pass, but we had 0 drops, which
wow.
We had 0 drops.
That's huge. That's something we need to continue, particularly against BYU. If that ball gets in your hand, you need to hold on to it. We're gonna have to take advantage of every opportunity we can this coming week against BYU. There's going to be no chance for no penalties, no screw ups on special teams. I mean, you don't have to go play perfect, but you need to play your best game of the year. We can't be having field goals blocked and kickoffs out of bounds and other goofy ass penalties against BYU.
Hey, Matt, talking about that, watching the press conference. Coach talked about there was a guy on the wedge that obviously missed an assignment. So guys, it was not the good news that I want to ask Matt, help me out, Matt. I think that's a lot easier to correct than the mechanics of the holder, the snap to the holder to the kicker. That's my gut feeling. I don't know but that will be my feeling is it was a guy on the right side that was supposed to block and he missed it. And that's what caused the guy to come in and block it. That's what Coach said today.
Yeah, I mean that was kind of hard to figure out because he came untouched off the edge, and I mean he got in there so fast that I felt like the kicker didn't even have a chance. And schematically, there was something else I noticed too, where if you go back and look at it, our holder was not directly behind the snapper; he was kind of angled to the right, which actually gave an extra step and a half to the guy coming off the edge if you go back and watch it. So yeah, we need to clean that up. You can't have those things happen. It's just so basic. And then the things that have been really kind of driving me nuts are really on our punt return team. And I think we've had 3 or 4 of these already this year where this returner, it's Pearson, right? I have that name.
Yeah.
Right? Pearson.
Yeah.
That kid is awesome. He's electric. He's really, I love having him back there. we have got to stop the dumb blocks in the back on punt returns too.
Yeah,
That's killing.
Coach Harrell talked about that today at the press conference, Matt. He said that he thinks Pearson has a chance to be all conference if we'll give him that opportunity and quit screwing up and doing things like what you're talking about.
Yeah, you need those. You can't have those type of things, happen every single game. So again, just do you think about what it takes to beat really good teams on your schedule? The BYUs, the Armies, the Tulanes, the people like that. Well, you got to play a clean football game.
And and that's the thing is Pearson. You guys are absolutely right. Pearson is so electric. I was watching him again Saturday night, thinking, when is the last time we had a punt returner like that's exciting? Like if you're the other team,
Tyler Snead.
Yeah.
Snead, but this guy's even better than Snead.
Well, as soon as he returns a touchdown like Snead did a couple times, then I'll say that.
I know that, but I tell you, he's got that much talent. He's better than Snead. And I'm not anti-Tyler Snead, but when he touches that ball,
I'm going to call Tyler and tell him he said that.
Come on, bring it on.
I'll do it.
Pearson's the kind of guy that can run one back. He can get way down there. He's getting an extra, 10, 12 yards, where think about all those times that we see guys doing fair catch on a punt return that was just driving me nuts. Like put some effort. There's no reason to be out there if you're not going to try to run. So anyway, that he's a guy that definitely is a huge pickup, just like Mike Wright.
He's good. He's good. I'm glad to have him, and he's very sure-handed, knock on wood, and he gets positive yards every time. Is he as dynamic as Snead, though? Seriously, I don't think so. But I sure would like for him to prove me wrong.
No doubt. Hey, by the way, Matt, here's another stat for you. Johnny, I forgot to mention this last night, I believe. So, again, I'm trying to be like you, Johnny.
By the way, what's up with us getting these white boys that are so damn fast like that? Now, somebody's going to take that out of context, but I don't care. You know what I mean.
Hey, but counting last year, Blake Harrell now 7-2. 7-2. If you count the bowl game, obviously, and we lost to Navy and NC State. But otherwise, the head man is 7-2. No excuses. No mid-major mess. No talk about, we don't have the talent, blah, blah, blah. No, we are a good team. And I agree with Kyle about this stretch coming up with BYU, Army, and Tulane. It's not a season definer, meaning like must wins. But I will say that I agree with you, Kyle, last night when you talked about that this is the difference between a mediocre team, a good team, or a great team. I'm saying it differently. But we're just going to see how good this team really is. And I'm excited, guys, because we're playing at a really high level already, and we're making a whole bunch of mistakes. And think about how good they can be. This is not their ceiling. I think it's still their floor, a little bit above the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you make those kind of mistakes and you're still able to win 38-0, that's a good day. The next three games, you got BYU this coming Saturday night in Greenville, huge opportunity.
Yeah.
And then you got Army on a short week, and then you got Tulane, and it is. I think this part of the schedule, if you go 3-0, then suddenly you're competing for the conference championship, and sky's the limit. 11-1 type. You start talking about that now. You go 2-1, like Emmanuel just said. Good God, you still feel good about things. You go 2-1 these next three, you're thinking 10-2, 9-3.
Yeah.
At worst 8-4. You go 1-2. Honestly, and I know some people are going to hate this, but even if we go 1-2, I still feel really good about the potential of 8-4.
Yeah.
Now 0-3. If we play, and I do, let me make this clear. I'm not predicting us to go in 3 of these next 3, and I do not want us to go in 3 of these next 3. But if we play well these next 3 and go 0-3, I still really like our chances to go 7-5, or at worst 6-6. These next 3 games will determine if we're going to have a great season, if we're going to have a good season, or an average season, or we get some injuries that could turn into a bad season. But this is a key stretch.
And Axel says, keep in mind, short turnaround between BYU and Army. It is,
Oh, yeah.
however, I agree with all that. However, I will say this. I believe that it's a situation where we can – the fact that we have BYU, and it is a short turnaround for Army, and we know how we talk about the academies ad nauseum, but thank goodness.
Army has never won in Greenville.
That is right. Oh, man, I hadn't thought about that.
Now,
Wow.
they haven't played here in about 30 or 20-some years, but they've never won in Greenville.
Yeah, and hey, by the way, and something else I want to point out, we do have so here's the deal. That quick turnaround between BYU and Army is both home games, and then we
Who
have
does Army play this week?
I haven't checked yet,
I'll
but
check.
I wanted to mention that the good news is before we have that road game against Tulane, we have the bye week, Matt.
Yeah, it'll be great. I mean, that's a good spot for that bye week.
Yeah.
That's a really good spot for that bye week. I mean, you look at sometimes the bye week can work for you, sometimes it can work against you. Like, you
Right.
look at BYU this week, right? What's really interesting about their preparation for this game is that they're
I'm
go ahead,
sorry,
Kyle.
Matt. I don't want to step on you. Army has North Texas at Army, so they're not going to have an off week. They got a tough. They have a tough opponent too. They have no sleepwalk. North Texas, BYU. Who's better? Who really knows the way North Texas has looked so far? So they got a tough one too. The point being, they got a tough week, and then they got to come on the road. So they got a short week too. I'll say this about BYU and Army. I'll make a bold prediction. Okay, if we beat BYU this week, we'll lose to Army. If we lose to BYU this week, we'll beat Army.
I was getting ready, man, great minds think alike. I was getting ready to say the same thing. I feel I'm like Matt. Matt talks about the academy.
Which one would you rather have? If you could pick one,
Oh.
even though Army's a conference game, but we want to win them both. A lot of people don't like these scenarios. Why would we pick one? But if you beat BYU, you're going to be riding high. It's going to be hard to get back focused for a quick Thursday turnaround with Army. So if you had to pick one of those two games, Magic Genie came to you right now, so you got to pick one. You can win one, lose one. I'm picking BYU. Unless we're going to win the conference, the BYU game does more for our program.
And it's on ESPN too.
Well, Army's on ESPN.
No, I know it is, but what I was getting ready to say is our luck on Thursday night games. I'm not a Thursday night game fan, and we got a whole bunch of them. And Matt, I know how you feel about the academies, and we're just not going to have the crowd. And then Kyle talked about last night about, not to bring that subject up long, but how it's Military Appreciation Night, and we're going to give away a whole bunch of tickets to the Army for them to come in. That's like giving a whole bunch of tickets away to, not BYU because they will because of the Mormon Church, but let's say it's a conference opponent and Charlotte. We're going to give a whole bunch of tickets to Charlotte for them to come in and to root against us. But anyway, I feel more confident, and I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I feel more confident about BYU than I do Army. I really do. I've been feeling that way for about a week now.
Yeah, I don't.
Me neither.
But Matt, JR, if y'all had to pick one, would you rather beat BYU or would you rather beat Army if you had to pick one?
Well, what you said, Kyle, I understand the logic behind that, but for me, it's about the conference. So I want to beat Army. Play well against BYU, but I want to beat Army more than I want to beat BYU.
To me, it only matters if you win the conference. But if we don't, Matt, what about you?
I mean, yeah, right now I want this BYU game. That's all I can really think about. Like I was texting with you guys, I don't know, it was earlier today, and basically saying this BYU, you only get so many opportunities in Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium anymore,
right,
where you can truly change the perception of your program nationally. And I think this is one of those opportunities. I don't want to overstate it, and I'm not saying we're playing, number one ranked Alabama, okay? But in 2025, we don't get these, nationally recognized opponents into Dowdy-Ficklin too often. So now you have a situation where you have a Saturday night game, right? We have a lot of momentum behind our program, okay? Coming off that bowl win, Blake Harrell, 7-2? You said, Dave.
Yeah.
2-1. right now. We have some weapons on offense. You have BYU, who's all 2-0, coming from the Big 12. This is a game for East Carolina that you have got to take care of business, and and I mean that from the coaching staff to the players, but also the administration. You have got to find ways to fill that stadium. All right. We have 1,500 seats left. I don't care if you give them away to every first responder,
Yes.
teacher, child in North Carolina. Make sure that stadium is packed. This is a huge, I can't state it enough. Look, going back to the early mid 90s, we used to get these opportunities all the time in Dowdy Ficklin. That's not the case anymore. So when you get them, you got to take full advantage. And, right now, I think I'm just focused on completely on the BYU game.
Yeah, and I can tell you this, Matt. If you haven't watched the Blake Harrell press conference, he's completely embracing this. You could tell he's embracing it.
Oh, yeah.
He ain't intimidated. He told I like this, and this is something that needs to be played and clipped, and we need to take this clip and put it out there. He challenged the fans. He said, he brought up that this was the Bear or whatever his name is, Tiger Ollie Singh, whatever his name is.
Well, there's two, right? There's a bear and a tiger, right? Isn't Tiger?
Bear.
Tiger's the one. The Tiger's the leading receiver,
and the Bear's the quarterback. So
yeah.
he challenged Pirate Nation, with this being Bear's first true road start, to make it tough on him all game. So I like hearing that. I like hearing that from Coach Harold to challenge the fans to make it tough on Bear all game, and hopefully we'll do it. Hopefully we have 50-some thousand in there, and we are loud all night, and hopefully they give us reason to be loud all night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dave.
No, I was just going to say that, Johnny, you made the great point of all these people on the message boards. I put that out, by the way, on our social media, a clip from last night. But you made such a great point, Johnny, when you were talking about we hear people all the time, our schedule sucks, and they put all that stuff on message board, the keyboard bandits. And the fact of the matter is, here's your chance. This is a huge game. What are you doing on Saturday night in Greenville, North Carolina, and Eastern North Carolina? You love football. Come on out. And I tell you what, it's going to be a loud crowd. And Matt, I agree with you 1,000%. Kenny even said give every local high school football team, give them tickets, first opportunity. Whatever we have to do, that upper deck should be packed. I'm tired of sitting across the upper deck on the opposite side, looking up there going, man, we should be giving away tickets to these, because if we think that we're going to be a few thousand short, maybe you save 1,000 or 2,000, back for walk-ups like Kyle was talking about last night. But man, we got to get these people in the seats.
Well, have we heard how many tickets are sold? I have not heard an official
1,500 or left.
What I've heard, or at least look, you read all kinds of things, right?
I don't know if I believe that, Matt, because at the
I
end
read
of last
1,600. 1,600 were left.
Well, at the end of last week, Ryan Robinson was saying that we were hoping for 45,000.
Well, they always do the low ball. That's the administration.
Right, but when did all these tickets get bought that there's only 1,600 left?
I don't know. That's a good question. But we talked about before that maybe the Mormon churches are buying them up, or
I'm not buying that. There's only 1,600. Where did you see? I mean, I'm not saying Matt's making it up. Matt, where did you see that?
Let's see. I read it on
HTC.
X. There were a few people talking about it on X, and then I did read it.
Who was it? Do you remember who tweeted it out?
I'd have to go back and look, honestly.
Okay.
But then it was also on HTC as well.
By Igo or by somebody else?
I think it was in like his weekly thread about.
Okay, well, if Igo's reporting it, then there's some validity to it. I'll have to go check the VIP thing and see if he said that. But I'd like to know. Maybe I'll call the ticket office myself and see if they'll give me a number, and we can get it out there on social media. The last time I called the ticket office and asked them for some information, they told me season tickets would be going out in the email this afternoon. I put it all over social media, and they went out the next day. So,
well, it is what it is. I'll tell you what, guys. By the line, we told about the line being 7.5. I did want to ask you guys. I know it's early.
Is that where it's settled at right now? 7.5.
Well, that's what the lady that you have the speaker also. I don't want to say her name because I just asked her.
Hold on, let me check.
Yeah.
You just talk amongst yourselves.
All right. But Matt, what do you think? You're the betting guy, and not to put you on the spot, but do you think that line goes down to like 4?
No.
No, I don't think it's going to go down to
That
4.
low?
I think it's probably going to settle right about where it is. Like, I don't really see it going down any further. When it first opened, I thought that line was a little bit high for me.
Me too.
Just with my, my limited betting knowledge, but I think it'll settle right around where it is. I mean, I think it's in a pretty good spot. Look, you look at it like this, most people, the way they look at it is, let's say it's a 28-28 game. They think BYU is going to get that edge with maybe a late touchdown, right? And then it comes down to that half a point, right? Are they able to tack on more, or are we able to, pull through ourselves? So I think it's a pretty good line where it is.
Pro Football Focus, they project lines not for gambling reasons, just they predict margins of victory. So they're saying 6.6 should be the line, and that the Pirates have a 33.1% chance of winning. But if you look at, for instance,
is that 7.5 right now?
Yeah, it's at 7.5, but it's weighted towards the Pirates. It's -120 for the Pirates. It's even money, which means that it's trending down. That means that if it keeps,
correct.
Yeah,
it was 9.5 when it opened. It got all the way down to 6.5, and now it's kind of settled at 7.5.
So Matt, we're not going to ask your predictions until Wednesday night. Obviously, we have our Pirate football preview, by the way, Wednesday night at 8:00. Don't forget about that, folks. Shameless plug. But Matt, I'll tell you, there's been a lot of upsets, and we can talk about this on Wednesday night. There's been a lot of upsets. What a great night of great day of college football on Saturday, and some really good games. Do you see like that sort of thing? What do you think so far? Your early look. How do you beat BYU?
Well, I love our chances to win this game, guys. Absolutely love it. I love the fact that they have to fly across the country, and we're going to have so much excitement and juice in that state. To use a Blake Harrell word, we're going to have a lot of juice in that stadium. And the one thing
it's gonna be Mormons, Matt.
Well, we're going to have probably 3,000 Mormons in there, right? Right. At least.
I don't know if there'll be any Jewish folks there, but
dude, you're going to get me in trouble. Juice.
Oh, I thought you said Jews. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I
digress. So where was I?
About the stadium and how packed it's going to be.
Look, again, if anybody's offended by that, get over yourself.
It's gonna be a lot of excitement, right? A lot of excitement. I think you look at Blake Harrell's tenure here; he always has the team ready to go. Like, there hasn't been a game where he's been the head coach where the team hasn't looked prepared and ready to play. So, and I'll say this over and over: I love our wide receivers against just about anybody. If we air it out, if we use the weapons we have, and not get pulled into some kind of a slugfest,
right?
Like we saw a little bit last week against Coastal. We kind of found ourselves getting involved in this slugfest for no reason when we didn't have to. I feel great about our chances to win this game. I really do.
Let me tell you something. If we bang our head against the wall and just run it nonstop, I don't think we're going to do that against BYU. I think we're just going to take what they give us.
I pray to God they do. Oh my God. By the way, Alan Vick's got breaking news for us. The Osmonds are going to be our halftime entertainment. So Donnie and Marie.
I get that. For a second, I didn't get the joke. Now I totally get it.
Because you're not old like me.
Yeah, I get it. That's pretty good, Alan. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Anyway.
Now it won't just be me that gets in trouble. It'll be Alan Vick, too. Remember, that's Alan Vick.
Yeah, he got me in trouble at the press box last time. We almost got kicked out over food. But anyway.
Look, I want to say something here real quick, and I'm going to bring it up again. JR, did you want to say something?
I can wait till after you're done.
Are you sure?
Oh yeah.
Okay, heard you sigh. Just want to make sure.
No, that wasn't me. Did I sigh? I didn't mean to.
You did. You sighed.
I did this. I went like that. I have
Uh,
allergies, Kyle.
And you
Allergies
snorting
are killing me right now.
JR is snorting cocaine on the air.
Never.
Speaking
We're
of
getting all kinds of
accused of
trouble,
doing,
Kyle.
well, I'm about to speak on being accused of things I didn't do. So I just want to speak on this real fast. So I had a great experience at the Coastal Carolina game and had fun in Myrtle Beach as always. But I was staying at a hotel, and I'll go ahead and mention the hotel, La Quinta Inn. So it's a Wyndham chain. And I have a $500 charge on my credit card. So La Quinta Inn, Myrtle Beach, North Kings Highway. $500 charge on my card for smoking in the room. I never smoked in the room. There is a sensor in the room that picked up, I don't know, I think maybe my wife lighting some matches from cleaning up a little thing our dog did in her crate. You get rid of the smell, and that maybe caused smoke in the room. So I'm going to try to get the charges expunged from my card. But again, this is La Quinta Inn, North Kings Highway, Myrtle Beach, owned by Wyndham, a Wyndham property. So I'm going to try to get the $500 charge expunged from my card. But I just wanted to mention this is La Quinta Inn, North Kings Highway, Myrtle Beach, Wyndham property. And if
Yeah,
I
new
can get
sponsor.
no, I'm letting everybody know that you might get a BS charge on your card at the La Quinta Inn, North Kings Highway, Wyndham property, Myrtle Beach. So I'm going to dispute the charge and talk to the nice folks at the hotel and try to get it taken off. And if not, I'm starting a campaign. I might even start a GoFundMe. The only thing Kyle smoked in Myrtle Beach was the only thing we smoked was Coastal Carolina. So
Hey, Matt,
so they got these little sensors and I wasn't aware. If I'd been aware of a sensor, I would have made sure that there was no matches lit. We would have just smelt dog crap in the room. So I just want to put that out there and might have started GoFundMe. If the charge don't get removed, will Pirate Nation help me get a BS charge expunged from my
hey,
credit card?
hey, Matt, you need us for our call list for the
And
sponsors.
that was the La Quinta Inn, North Kings Highway, Myrtle Beach, Wyndham
Yeah, but
property.
Matt's been working tirelessly on that account, and Matt, you need to cross out that for your call list. I think we just lost a potential sponsor. So
Cross them off. And Kyle, look, there's no way they can prove any of that. Don't pay it. I would call my credit card. I'd be like, look, this is some fraudulent charge. There's no way. How can anybody? I mean, that's just absurd.
I will start the process
But
tomorrow.
were you actually not smoking? That's the question I have.
No, I was not smoking. No, was
Okay.
not smoking. There was absolutely no smoke in that room.
Then there's no way in hell I would pay that.
No, I'm not going. Well, I mean, I may have to if I can't get it removed, but I am going to start the process of getting it removed. And like I said, it came from matches being lit, from and aerosol cans being sprayed. I'm assuming from the dog having an accident in her crate. Next time, I'll just let the dog stay out in the room overnight and just shit all over the floor.
oh my God, classic Kyle, always here on TSO. And guys, looking.
So that is again the La Quinta Inn, North Kings Highway, Myrtle Beach, Wyndham property.
We need to charge them $500 for the for all.
This is negative publicity, baby. This ain't good publicity.
Any publicity is good.
No, I disagree with you on that.
I mean, they're
100%.
getting their name out there. So
all right. So let's say we get a charge to let's say Dave Richmond of the Sports Subjective and of EC Health gets arrested tomorrow for stealing a Red Bull from the commissary there at the hospital. Would that be good publicity for the Sports Objective?
Probably not. But first of all, I don't steal. But if I were going to steal,
that's not what I hear.
It would not be. I do not drink Red Bulls. No.
He would steal a Monster then.
No, I don't drink any of them.
That's what you say now.
Oh, thank you, Justin. And by the way, Justin.
All right, Justin. Dave, will you pay my BS charge if I can't get it expunged?
If you'll go on the Queen Anne's Revenge, yeah.
I'll do it.
Hey, Justin, I have a great idea. How about if Kyle and I and Jessica, we all go, and maybe we get some more people. We go on the truck to Temple. The Philadelphia is a fun town. What do you think, Matt? Matt could come down to the Temple game.
Oh boy, you know what I think about Temple's football program? They make me. They're actually my new least favorite football program in the American. I actually like Charlotte more than Temple now.
Wow.
Wow.
Actually,
That's a
like
hot
I have
take.
more respect for Charlotte.
Can you explain that?
Temple's look, yeah, I will. I've been really down on Temple, and I think the American Conference
They
Commission.
made a good hire. I like their new head coach.
Yeah.
Well, my issue is, look, they refuse to build their own stadium, right?
Where are
They
they going to put it, though, Matt? I mean, not to
There
defend
was
Temple.
anyway,
the
build a high school stadium. But look, the fact that they play in the Eagle Stadium and they can't put more than 500 people in there is a disgrace.
and they
If
say,
you
like,
look, and you know what really frustrated me? This really frustrated. I'm watching a little bit of the Temple Oklahoma game, and ESPN was trying their best to keep the camera angles tight, so you literally couldn't see 1 millimeter of the crowd on TV, and they were pretty successful at it. But like, that's kind of, guys, it's pathetic when you can't put more than 500 people in the stands. I mean, they have to do something about that. Go play somewhere else. Go play in the MAC.
hey,
They
by
tried that.
the way, I did have a question about that game because there was a targeting call, and one of the Oklahoma players is going to have to sit out the first half of the next game. And I just want to say this really quick because we're running long. I absolutely hate the targeting call. They never get it right. I understand why they're doing it. And I agree with Dusty Dvorak, who played for Oklahoma, and Danny Cannell. They were both talking about that.
Cindy wants to recommend me to the Board of Trustees. I think you have to be an ECU graduate, Cindy. I did not graduate from ECU. However, my wife did. Now, maybe you could appoint her to the Board of Trustees, and I'll just tell her everything to say.
But look at this. Justice says we rarely call targeting. Exactly. I understand the purpose, and I know that the head injuries they say are down, and I get all that. But Matt, you know I'm pro defense. I'm biased, but that call, they most of the time they don't get that call right. And also, I think the penalty is way too stiff. If you're they were saying this morning, and I was like, preach it. If you're going to kick a guy out, kick him out for the rest of the game. Don't make him wait to sit another half. I don't agree with that. And I do. One thing that they added that I had never thought about is they were saying you should have a targeting 1 and 2. In other words, if it's something that's egregious, you have that. But if it's something where it's a straight up football play, the guy was not trying to lead with his head and trying to have head to head, contact, then, that would be like a targeting 1. But I just want to get your thoughts really quick before we get out of here.
Oh, well, yeah, I've been saying for years that I think the idea of a player who works his tail off all week and, is ejected for a very questionable targeting play and then has to sit out the first half of the game the following week it's criminal. It really is. And like, they've gone way too far with it. So my proposal is the first time you get a targeting call, it's a 15-yard penalty and a warning. If a player gets a second targeting, now you get the ejection.
And just for the game, right? And you could play the next game.
Yeah, unless it's, in the fourth quarter, I'd say, then maybe you have to sit, So that's, if they want to go with that, I can live with it. But like, they've just gone way too far with this. Yeah. And it's just tough to watch. It really can ruin the flow of a game.
I'm looking at the comments here, and Cindy is making a lot of nice comments towards me, and just wanted to tell her I appreciate all the kind words. I really do. So thank you, Cindy. I appreciate all the comments you're making, and I just speak my mind. Some people like it, some people don't. I'm glad you do.
Kyle is our voice. I'm just saying. Yeah, Kyle, are you going to run for Pirate Club president?
Like, a run for Pirate Club? Well, I think that's more of a hired position.
No, but, that's executive director. I'm talking about like for Pirate Club members, you could actually run and.
I haven't thought about it, but
what do you think, Matt? We could get a campaign going. I've won a campaign and managed 2 successfully, so we could get you up there. What do you think, guys out there in the chat? Do you think Don't you think Kyle would be great to have in the Pirate Club? I mean, he's already in the Pirate Club, but to have the voice of the people and the people's champion, not The Rock, it would be Kyle from LaGrange Barber.
I'm more like CM Punk. I'm the voice of the voiceless.
Okay. Voice of the voiceless. I do like CM Punk. Thank God he's back in WWE. But Justin said I've heard his name mentioned. Is that like going, you mean for behind the scenes?
There you go, Justin. Well, it's there we go. Look, I'm getting lots of support here. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, guys. Appreciate the love.
Kyle just like the third down song. I have heard nobody say anything about it but you. You are right about Thursday. I guess that's third down, Kyle.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. The third down song is just been awful. It's been atrocious the last 2 seasons. So,
yeah, and
Cindy, I appreciate it. You know, I really do. And what I would encourage you and every other pirate to do is say it. You know, one voice. You know, one voice isn't as loud as many. And if more people would just speak up and say what they think, change would happen a lot faster. So, what I would encourage everybody to do, if you like what I say, you say it too.
Kenneth says Kyle for director of fan engagement. I would.
Now I would like that. You get me. You get me to do something like that, or game day operation, something like that. I'd love to do something like that. I promise you, we'd have the best atmosphere in college football.
I'll tell you one thing right now. By the way, again, I really love Matt. I know you did this when they had the Legends, and you participated in that. But when they had, I don't know if you knew this, Kyle. Excuse me, Matt. But there at the game, they had Rajay Harris at the very beginning of the game, pumping up the crowd, leading a purple and gold cheer. That was something I've never seen that before. Is that new? I've never seen that before.
At the beginning of the game, yeah, that's something that was great. Rajay doing that at the Campbell game. That's something that
they need to keep that.
They need to continue. And Cindy said, Cindy's asking who to email to give her opinions to. There's a generic email to contact Gilbert. I think his emails kind of get screened, but it's something like athleticdirector@ecu.edu. Just Google his email, John Gilbert's email, and that's who you send your email to.
Kyle's halftime entertainment will be a wrestling match at midfield, no disqualification, no time limit. Well, Alan, they do have to have about 18 minutes. So
yeah, we're gonna have a time limit. That's right, because the halftime. I don't know about having wrestling at halftime, but yeah, sure that'd be. I definitely would come up with some fun stuff. If this is not going to happen, this is all fictitious world. But yeah, I would. It would be a fun atmosphere.
Not only ECU people, but you could get the mayor. You could get different people, bigger name people come in. Like when we had Parmalee do the halftime, you could get them to even do purple gold. Like how they had with the Cubs and I know it's the Chicago Cubs. But when they had, the famous.
Yeah, I love the idea that was a good thing we did with Rajay Harris doing the purple gold chant to start the game. I'd love to see more former players do that. Yeah. And you're right. You could have other people do it. Well, we got a big celebrity, guys. Matt, JR, did you hear about the big celebrity that's going to be here this week?
I did not.
Oh, it's the Mountain Dew dude. Oh, the Mountain Dew dude's whoever in the blue hell the Mountain Dew dude is, but he keeps being promoted that he's going to be at the game. So whatever or whoever.
I thought it might be the Hampton Peanut guy.
And you can win a green you can win a green jacket. Now, Matt, growing up,
I got mine from the Masters. Thank you very much.
That's what I was getting ready to say. If I want a green jacket, it's got to be from Augusta, right, Matt? And I love Pepsi products, and I'm a huge fan of Mountain Dew. It's not good for probably like my heart or things, but I do love Mountain Dew. And have you heard about that, Matt? The Mountain Dew guy coming. He's going to give away.
I haven't.
A Mountain Dew jacket. It's a green jacket, but no offense to Mountain Dew. I really love Mountain Dew and I love Pepsi products. So hopefully we don't lose another sponsor or potential sponsor. So let's see. What is that? GFed?
Is GFed coming back to the stadium tour? YouTube. GFed. I know that name. I think he is some sort of YouTuber.
Okay.
I'm not exactly sure who he is, but I know that reference.
All right. Do you guys have any? We're right at an hour. We've gone over. Do you guys have anything, Matt? We wanted to do something special with your brother. Obviously, we have the for those listening tonight and watching. Don't forget Wednesday night we have our Pirate football preview, and it's going to be electric. I promise you, it's going to be great. And by the way, we're going to try to get Kyle. This is on the air to help me remember, but we're going to try to record the BYU press conference is tomorrow, I believe, at 2 Eastern. There, so it's noon Mountain Time. So if I did my math right, I believe that's right. 2 our time tomorrow. We'll record that press conference from BYU and we'll put it up as soon as we can. But Kyle, help me remember that. I just thought about that. I forgot to tell you earlier. But anyway, Cindy's saying who's in charge of third down songs? She says
Somebody that doesn't know what they're doing. I would just email John Gilbert. I think it's athletic director at ECU.edu.
Thank you, Kenneth. He tours college football stadiums and facilities. He came about a year or so ago to Dowdy Ficklin. That's cool. I didn't know that. All right.
Is that the guy is that the guy that sneaks on the field? Is that what you're talking about, Kenneth? That he tries to get on every Division I field and walk around the stadium. If that's what you're talking about, I like his content.
Mountain Dew is nectar of the gods. Let's see. Robert says, seen a BYU poll with 4 choices, worried about ECUs. Number 1, passing game, 24%. Cross-country travel, 21%. Aggressive blitzing is number 3, and that is 47%. Home field advantage, 8%. Thought that was interesting.
Yeah, no, that is.
Hadn't heard that.
It's interesting that they are very concerned, apparently, about our blitzing. So shows if that's from their fans, it shows they've been paying attention because we are, as JR will tell you, are we leading the country in tackles for loss?
Okay, so we're number 1 in turnover margin at +7, and tackles for loss we're number 6. This is out of 134 teams. And then in rushing defense, we're number 7. And in passing, we're 11th.
There you go.
Matt, how do you like those stats, Matt?
Fantastic, man. Absolutely fantastic.
And here's one more for you. BYU strength of schedule 125 out of 134.
You said the Stanford beating BC didn't help them?
I don't know. I'm going off the numbers, Kyle, from the NCAA.
Well, according to the ESPN Power Rankings, as of yesterday, somehow we were ranked above NC State, and I cannot figure out that for the life of me.
I'll take it.
These people up here, there helps us each week at the least. Hit the thumbs up. Thanks. Appreciate you, Cindy. We need to, you're like our biggest fan or promoter for sure. And yeah, every time that you come on, definitely hit that like button and share it because you can share it. And then other people will be watching your content, watching your page. Obviously, we're going to be working on, we've said it for a while now, and I'll do it this week. We're going to be on, hey, Matt, we're going to broadcast on X. I'll get it done this week. I promise. I'll make a note and I'll get it done. We'll be on X this week. So by Sunday, when we have our, Pirate football playback, we'll have it on X as well. So we have it on right now, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere, including we even have it on Instagram. But at Watch Out X, we're coming after you next. How about, oh man, here's a great guy. We love Brennan. God bless the Sports Objective podcast, the best podcast on the airwaves. Shapiro, you're the best, brother. You're the best. We miss you a lot. He did this thing called Graduate. So we're proud of you. And when are you getting, I forgot, when is he getting married? He's engaged. He's coming, man.
I don't know. He needs to go and do it, though. Tie that up, Brennan. Tie that up.
Kyle officiate your wedding. That should be interesting.
Right.
Is the ad doing anything to try and improve game day experience for fans, or is he just complacent? Oh, AD, I beg your pardon.
I would. Yeah, I just from what I've seen from our game day experiences, Gilbert's been here. I would say complacent. I mean, I don't know that he's done anything to improve it at all.
I will say
October 4th.
That's right. Good God, that's making me nervous. I will say this. Those graphics, and who said that earlier? I forgot who mentioned that earlier, but those graphics they have outside, they have I know on the press box side of Town Bank Tower, they've added those graphics.
They're
Those
putting
look
them
great.
on the. They're putting them on the. They'll be on the north side this week also.
Okay, that is great.
Um,
They did the
yeah, no, that
ribbon.
is good. That really doesn't improve the game day experience, but it definitely improves the aesthetic.
They did the ribbon. I like that at the stadium, so that's good for advertising. Hey Matt, that tailgate experience where Scales Fieldhouse was, I have to give them credit. It looks really good, and I don't know what the cost is or anything to do that, but they have a big screen TV. It's a nice touch. I didn't expect it to be that good. So whenever,
Well, yeah, so I shouldn't say nothing's been done. I mean, for those kinds of things, tailgating, et cetera, yes, we have done things like that.
but we did mention that we do want to see that. Please, the concourse area. Please, let's raise money. Please, let's raise money. Have more food options. Do the like we talked about. I would even I thought about this, guys, and I mentioned this before about the soft drinks. But my nephew is obsessed with movies. He goes to movies like once a week or more, and he has that bucket of popcorn. And it dawned on me, why can't we do a bucket of popcorn? Maybe you could have a drink where you could, how they do it at amusement parks, where they, you pay so much per year and you get unlimited drinks. That would,
Sure.
to me, that would be, that's another way that you can raise money. Most people are not going to drink, say if it's $25 for the year, they probably won't drink but one drink a game at most, maybe two. I drink more than that, but that's something else I've been thinking about, guys. Is there anything else, any ideas else to help out concessions? Because people have been asking about that.
I have nothing.
I mean, I think we've talked to death, but I mean, what I would recommend, I don't want to give concessions away like Coastal, but I would recommend doing like $100, $150 a year voucher for season ticket holders. Make that an option where you can get unlimited concessions with the basic stuff: hot dogs, nachos, drinks, popcorn.
Scheduling conversation. BYU coach did say it's a hard place to travel to. They're arriving on Thursday.
They did that last time.
Yep. All right. So anyway, we're going to get out of here. I know Matt's still tired from traveling, but we want to do something special with him tonight. Missed you, brother, and glad that you're back safe in the Commonwealth of Connecticut, home of WWP. And looking forward to. We got to get you down here. I tell you what. Let's do this. I'm saving my money for the bowl game. I had so much fun with you guys, with everybody there.
Quick trivia question, and then I'm done. Can anybody give me the state with the highest percentage populations of Mormons per capita on the East Coast?
North Carolina.
Nope.
Florida.
Massachusetts.
Nope. JR, you should have got this.
Virginia
Per capita.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh, wow. We have a lot of Mennonites. I don't know if they're the.
According to Chat GTP, you guys have 95,000 Mormons, which per capita makes you the largest populated state of Mormons by percentage in the United States. Yeah, on the East Coast, rather. Not the United States. So Utah's got that. But based on the actual amount in terms of the number of Mormons, New York and Florida would be 1 and 2. But in terms of percentage of population, Virginia is number 1.
I'll give you my hot take really quick. I think that's BS from BYU, and I tell you why. Because you can fly right into Greenville if you're taking a blankety blank charter flight. Let me tell you why they're coming on Thursday. Matt, I don't know if you caught this. The reason they're coming on Thursday is not only to help with the jet lag and for the players, but wait for it, recruiting. They recruit nationally. I bet you money Friday they'll be recruiting. That's why they're coming early, is to help with the players with jet lag so they can get accustomed to that and recruiting on Friday. That's why they're coming early. It's not because of the airports. Don't give me that crap. Anyway, let's get out of here, guys. Any final thoughts, or we're going to wrap it up?
See you Wednesday.
All right. We'll get out of here. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Kyle. Great show. A lot of people listening and watching tonight. Thank you so much on a Monday night. We didn't even promote this. So anyway, we'll get out of here. We'll see you Wednesday night at 8 o'clock for the Pirate Football preview for the BYU edition on the Sports Objective. Good night, everybody. And as always, go Pirates.
You're watching The Sports Objective, the podcast for Pirates.